So I was just going to make this about one topic, but this video will have two parts to it. So if I send it to you and the first part doesn't make sense, just wait, because I'm going to address one thing very important, and I'm going to address about four things people had commented me on. I think they deserve answers. The first one is I wanted to say to everybody, and I hope my subscribers and viewers see this, and that is that sometimes I just can't bring myself to open up a new message or even respond or see a phone call coming through, and it's just I'm not in the right state. I don't want to answer it because I'll just either be in a very bad mood or a very lethargic mood or a very introverted mood. And I realize some people are calling me because they need help, because they need someone to talk to, and that's going to weigh heavy on my conscience for a while. And even if they say no, I got help somewhere else, I mean, if you're calling out to me for help, I should be there for you. There shouldn't be an excuse. I'd like to say that a guy in North Carolina, a guy in Georgia, someone in Romania, a Serbian now in Canada, a woman from Skokie who's now in the Southwest, another person that's in the Southwest that's a little bit north, many Catholics, a certain monastic. I'm forgetting somebody here. If you don't hear your name here, you're probably very important. But these people I couldn't imagine. Oh yeah, and somebody who is in a college in Indiana right now. You have all immensely helped me through a very horrible period of time. That was months ago, and it kind of seems to creep back up, and you think you're doing fine, and then it creeps back up, and you have a horrible time dealing with it. Because the reason why it never goes away is because the person that you miss never comes back. So you'll always think, oh, they would really like this, and then you start to kind of get choked up because you realize, well, I'm not going to see them. So I just needed to say this. I know I've been silent with many people, and there's certainly a very beautiful person who during this time was near me, had gone to the funeral, the wake, the dinner afterwards, who I was immensely cold with, who again, I probably would have had a bullet inside my head if not been for that. Plus my family suffered greatly to help me, and I've suffered greatly to help them. That's what family are for. But I don't want that to go unsaid. Thank you for helping me through one of the worst times in my entire life. And then the second part, which is where I'm about to address a few questions that are just comments, which I think I don't think confidentiality really goes with these too much at all. One is about icons by Bill Alexander. The word graph, right, by itself, we will never say for an icon. Like previous person noted, it is splitting hairs, mainly done by new converts to Orthodoxy faith who need to make this an art form more than it is. Yes, sometimes we sometimes hear our hand is guided by God, which is interpreted in the West and new converts as saying God is writing, as if God did not allow anyone to paint. Come on, people, if we we're all sticklers for words, then all forms of art in the Greek language is written. I'm not entirely sure what this is talking about, but icons can be read. They're supposed to be read. There's stories to be read. It is a way of depicting someone, but also it has a lot of symbols in it, so it can be read. After all, if you see someone holding a cross, you know that they're a martyr. If you see someone who has wings, you know that they're a messenger. These were taken from Roman symbolism, and the icons were taken from the style of 2nd century Egypt, probably 1st century Egypt. So splitting hairs, or that's a new convert, or anything like that. If you say, "Oh yeah, they painted a beautiful icon," I love the art of that icon. I mean, do we then look at the Sistine Chapel and say, "Oh, those are perfectly canonical icons"? I mean, the colors, the hands, whether someone's showing 2 eyes or 1, the halo. I mean, these are all things to be read. That's why, remember, icons are the first form of scripture. I don't know which way Bill Alexander is going with this. Remember, this is not a private message. This is in the comment. So I hope he'll give us an answer. On my video comment, Nymphetic claims I bash the Roman Catholic Church. Is this true? Do I? I think that was a mistake. Nymphetic is actually somebody who was a very nice Roman Catholic, and I hope there's no bad blood between us anymore. Video direction says, why isn't the God of philosophers the God of Abraham? Well, I would say, why don't you read? Because clearly the early Christians were considered, especially people like Augustine and Justin Martyr, and even Eusebius, who's a historian, speaks about Aristotle and Plato as being pre-Christian Christians, that they, upon their own intellect or whatever, reached monotheism. And they also, that's why many people will read Eusebius or Justin Martyr or Augustine and say, oh, see, they're trying to claim that Christianity was from the beginning, that it didn't start in time, that everybody was always Christian. No. When they talk about the people that the Christians that existed before Christianity, most of the time they're talking about the ancient Israelites that were following God before the crucifixion, before the incarnation. But also what gets included there are the monotheistic philosophers, which were seen as people like Plato and his followers, and Aristotle, the idea of one God. I mean, read Plato's Apology. He just mentions one God. So why isn't the God of philosophers the God of Abraham? Well, if you're a Christian and you know anything about Christian past, especially if you're Eastern Orthodox, you would say that from the early Christians, at least Justin Martyr and then much later Augustine, that yes, it's the one and the same God. Now, whether the Jews actually accurately wrote things down, and whether we have to obey anything that they say, which I would say we don't have to obey that. No, Plato and Aristotle get grouped among the one true God. They're viewed as pre-Christian Christians. And that was on my video. Oh yeah, Nymphretta claims I bash Roman Catholic Church. Is this true? Do I? And I think he said that he was arguing with somebody else. It wasn't the case. I miss talking to him. He's a good guy. Oh, this was a sarcastic comment by Cateelizruth. Of course not, neither. So me too either. the Beetle. 12 steps of NA/A. Dude, this system is laughable. Let's see all the comments on this one. The system is laughable. Not a response to anything. This system is I'm making a video saying I got nothing out of the 12 steps, and I think it harbors bad cognitive behavioral therapy or cognitive behavioral thought. Dude, this system is what system am I using? This system is, I think, now this is by somebody who I like. This is Daniel Latta. Maybe he means 12 steps in NA, in which case I would agree with him. Daniel Latta, I noticed him recently. Seems to be a good guy, intelligent guy. And let's see if I can answer the last question that I saw on here, which would be TK Nightcrawler, how then shall we act? Dungeon Aid made apostate a cool word. The problem is Dungeon 2 made it a very uncool word. Alright. My answer to anti-theism, where I talk about Bob Marley. And Trisha Lollipop says, I agree. I have to agree. Trisha Lollipop, if you're ever in the area, buying you a drink. I'm not necessarily somebody who drinks, but I'll buy you a drink. And then Kill 28 Illuminati wrote, he would probably, by Jesse Ventura, he would probably punch you or make fun of you, so shut up. Wow, Mexican gov, good people, please shut the fuck up. He means Mexican government. I don't know what's going on with this person. Apparently all their stuff is withdrawn. No, this is what it was from. Jesse Ventura, this is what I wrote. Jesse Ventura is a brave man telling the truth, and aliens from another planet are ruling the U.S. government with the help of Vatican and the Illuminati and the Jews. The New World Order is upon us, and only Jesse Ventura, Jesse the Messiah Ventura, is the one who can stop them. Jesse lives in Mexico because the Mexican government is so honest and good to their people. Mexico is way better than the U.S. That's why no one is ever trying to come to the U.S. from Mexico. Jesse the Messiah Ventura save us all from the New World Order. Gambler wrote, ha 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 ha. Then I got, he would probably punch you in the face or make fun of you, so shut up. Wow, Mexican gov, good to people, please shut the fuck up. My response was, I see sarcasm is not, oh, I put not twice, is not of your strong points. Ventura was a Navy SEAL in Vietnam and believes in the First Amendment. So I think Jesse may disagree with me, but he would defend my right to say it. Wow, you have a very low view of Ventura. Ventura may have wacky ideas, but he's a patriot. And this is what I agree with this. I actually know people who want the American government to invade Juarez because they say they can't even, their kids get murdered in the street, and that the Mexican government is actually doing nothing about it. And what they are doing about it, they're not being very successful. They have to go around in masks to arrest people, or else they'll be killed. we have this crisis happening on our border, it doesn't mean we have to steal their land or declare Juarez part of America, but it's happening right on our border, and there's people being basically Ciudad de Juarez and all of the province of Juarez is just a bloodbath. I think it's for I think America bears some of the fault for the war on drugs. But I also, I look at where I live. Oh my gosh. It's just like when people say, "Well, why do you get so annoyed that you have to listen to commercials in Spanish on YouTube?" Look where I live. Just look around where I live. There are plenty of Mexicans who say, "Yeah, go to Acapulco or Cancun. These rural parts of Mexico are very dangerous. That they couldn't even go down there, and that it's very scary. That it's not good for anybody." Just because somebody's a Mexican doesn't mean that they're going to automatically lie and praise another Mexican who happens to be a drug dealer, a criminal, and a murderer. Mexicans are like everyone else. They have all the vice and virtue, and they want to live in a society with peace, and they want their children to be raised and educated in an area where they don't have to worry about them getting shot all the time. So not ripping on Mexico or the Mexican people, but okay, if you want to just try to, again, I don't know where some people are coming from. So that's my thing, and I'll save whatever else I was going to say for a different time. So I was just going to make this about one topic, but this video will have two parts to it. So if I send it to you and the first part doesn't make sense, just wait, because I'm going to address one thing very important, and I'm going to address about four things people had commented me on. I think they deserve answers. The first one is I wanted to say to everybody, and I hope my subscribers and viewers see this, and that is that sometimes I just can't bring myself to open up a new message or even respond or see a phone call coming through, and it's just I'm not in the right state. I don't want to answer it because I'll just either be in a very bad mood or a very lethargic mood or a very introverted mood. And I realize some people are calling me because they need help, because they need someone to talk to, and that's going to weigh heavy on my conscience for a while. And even if they say, no, I got help somewhere else, if you're calling out to me for help, I should be there for you. There shouldn't be an excuse. I'd like to say that a guy in North Carolina, a guy in Georgia, I'm forgetting somebody here. If you don't hear your name here, you're probably very important, but these people I couldn't imagine. And somebody who is in a college in Indiana right now. You have all immensely helped me through a very Georgia, someone in Romania, a Serbian now in Canada, a woman from Skokie who's now in the Southwest, another person that's in the Southwest that's a little bit north, many Catholics, a certain monastic